No, I didn't even hear it.
All right.
I didn't go there for the.
6:30.
There we go.
6:30. Call to order the meeting of the Public Property and Safety Committee. 1-0, call to order, roll call. Ms. Hayes,
Here.
Ms. Deininger,
Here.
Ms. Anthony,
Present.
and Mr. Newton is absent. 3.0, approval of the agenda. I am going to make an amendment to the agenda. I'm going to have 7.2, Emergency Management HC give their report first, then the Sheriff's Department, and I will do the coroner. He left me some notes.
I will approve, second your amended agenda.
Do I have any discussion on the amended agenda? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 4.0, review and approval of the meeting minutes from the June 11th, 2024 meeting. To approve.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? No discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, 5.0, approval of claims. From the public property side, we have cash requirements of $86,076.21. No manual claims, $1,286,076.21. On the public safety side, we have cash requirements of $358,323.38 with manual claims of $149,135.98 for a total of $507,459.36. Do we have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Do we have any discussion on the claims? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Claims are approved. 6.0, public comment. There is nobody in the room besides board or the committee members. All those present with the sheriff, chairman, EMA director, and administrator. All right. 7.0, reports of committee, emergency management agency director.
Thank you for attending the agenda tonight. We have a meeting next door at the library at 7 o'clock. I'd like to attend. Our meeting is involving with Star Ambulance closing doors and the lack of ambulances that are in the county at this time. Right now, there's 5 full-time, potentially 7, but normally during working hours, 8 to 5, it's 5 full-times. Ambulances that are manning Stephenson County. The Chiefs Association, the Ambulance Services, and the trustees of the Fire Protection District are getting together. The reason I feel that I need to attend is on their agenda, I'll step down. There's a heading that county EMS being the lead agency. To my knowledge, we don't have any EMS and we're not any lead agency. So I want to make sure that I'm there to make sure there are not any misconceptions about what the county's roles and all this. Moving on to my agenda, our Assistant Director, Robin Gorsline, attended the FEMA Training Force HC Homeland Security Exercise Evaluation Program on June 12th. This is his last class for his Professional Development Series Training Certificate. So he completed that. He'll receive his certificate this September at the IEMA Training Summit. So I'm very, very proud, very happy that he got that finished. We continue to meet with the Stephenson County Fair Board. I had a meeting on June 13th, reviewed the fair agenda and finalized the Fair Association emergency plan. EMA office participated in a tabletop tornado drill at Rockford College and at the Winnebago County UOC on June 25th. This was a really good drill, very informative. There's a company, I don't have the software in front of me, but it's a tracking software. It's something that I think that IEMA is going to purchase for all the counties that allows us to do organized searches, probably something the sheriff's office would be able to utilize also. But I was very impressed with that software. As I said earlier, Star Ambulance closed its doors on June 28th. It's unknown if this is temporary or permanent. I'll know more after tonight's meeting. Other than that, we're still working on the deputy director position. I'll have the job descriptions ready to go to liability review. I'll get that lined up with the county administrator in Georgia, and hopefully next month I'll have something to present to you and take to the county. And that's about all I have. Any questions for me?
Any discussion?
I didn't, I do have a question. Mr. Townsend, I didn't hear properly because I'm old. Can you please tell me what closed down?
Star ambulance service?
Oh, Star. I did hear that. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hope to reopen soon.
Yeah, I've heard rumors, but they're rumors at this point. Hopefully we'll have some more answers tonight.
Just quick question about that. What's the percentage of ambulance calls that go to Star in our area? By losing them, what are we losing? What percentage? Do you
I don't have
have?
the, well, I probably could. I got the numbers from the 911 meeting. Star, they do a lot of medical transfers from the hospital
Right.
to Wisconsin, whether it be Monroe, whether it be Rockford, wherever. And they're also a rollover ambulance they'll cover for city fire, they'll cover for Freeport Rural, they'll cover for Forreston, Lemons. So if those ambulance services are busy, Star will try to fill that gap. The reality is, a Star had 2 full-time ambulances is how they advertise, but that's not always the case. Staffing dictates, they always have one, as far as I know, they never turn it down. But to say they had 2, I think is a reach. Freeport Rural has an ambulance, but during the day, it's not staffed because people work, but like now, it probably is staffed. So as working hours cease, the ambulance coverage increases, but nonetheless, I mean, we've got a county of 48,000 people, 7 ambulances is very, very minimal. And honestly, right now, we're looking at 5 full-time during the day. So, it's nothing new. It's been going on. Star has been a backup. So 5, maybe we had 7. But there are private services out of Winnebago County that can call. We have Little County as a neighbor. We have Joe Davis County as a neighbor. If something happened, obviously those resources could be drawn upon. One of the big problems about this is getting dispatchers, sheriff's office, city fire, or city police dispatchers, knowing what to do and who to call whenever resources have been exhausted. And I think that's a big part of tonight's meeting too, was coming up with maybe some kind of policy that procedures for them to follow. So that
It's sad for me. I just had to put my parents in assisted living. My stepdad had fallen 16 times in the last 3 months. And who was the ambulance there to transport him every single time was Star.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, and I understand you guys are in a spot where I had a medical emergency at the flower shop the day before yesterday. They were there within 4.5 minutes. I was appreciative. It was great. The service was amazing, but I understand that there are other things that are more important than to transport to the hospital, to the nursing home, to Rockford, to Madison. I mean, there are more important things for Freeport to have to deal with.
Right.
So it's just, to me, it's kind of a loss. So
yeah, and then the law states that ambulance calls do not have the ability to prioritize 911 calls.
Right.
So 911 call comes in to see. Now, police and sheriffs, they can kind of use common sense and say, okay, yeah, we got this, we don't need to go there. If we're stolen bike, we have a shooting or a bank robbery, that takes priority. Unfortunately, 911 calls don't have it. Now, transfers to hospitals, things like that, then they can be prioritized.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, next up is Sheriff Stovall.
You're on vacation.
I'm on
Remember
vacation,
that.
we'll start that off. All right, so in the hiring process, we still have 2 at the law enforcement PT. I believe they're in week 8 of their 16 weeks. We have 53 inmates today. Social service administrator, I've been gone all week, so I don't have any stats for her. But as you can see, they've been pretty much the same every month. I mean, she's actually got a lot going on. But the one thing I do want to highlight is she's in charge right now of the sheriff's office event that we're putting together at the Cedarville Fire Department. It's going to be a back-to-school resource event that we're going to be getting backpacks, physical, all kinds of stuff, coats, and I think we have, did I say backpacks, coats,
Mhm.
gloves, just getting back to school things, and people that are in need of. I'll have more information on that when we finish it up. It will be in August. Crime suppression unit, all the stats should have been emailed to you, so I don't have to go over all of them, but as you can see, they're still busting it out there. They're doing great. Old business, the LPRs, everything's good to go. Helm Group is the one that the company actually hired to do the installs. They're just waiting for IDOT to give them the go ahead to get on their equipment. Elevator project, Kone, as the information, as I said in the last information, they were again at the courthouse last week, making some more measurements. The measurements are important because they're building our elevators off-site, so they need to make sure that they are correct, so we don't have any downtime. So they're doing their due diligence, and then the HVAC, they are in the process. There's things going up, so in the beginning in the spring, we had complaints that the building was very hot. Well, now as they're getting them fixed, it's very cold in some parts of the building because it's a fight now between the upper levels and the lower levels, but they're on the second floor now. So first floor, basement are done. They're gonna be on the second floor. They're on the second floor this week, and then the units that are going on the roof are ordered. That is all I have until new business.
I have a question, Sheriff.
Yep.
Now are all the items for cone all purchased now? I saw there's quite a bit in the,
That was just the materials. That's the first part of the bill. Them and Helm both require like 30%, 25-30% when they're buying equipment to bill us for. I just got the Helm bill when I was at my office just now.
I'd like to say, I appreciate all the stats in the crime suppression unit. I think it's really it's everybody up on the board. Any more questions for the sheriff? Not, I'll go on to what the coroner gave me for information. He was up 24 hours with reports and with a, yeah. So it's quite. So here's the information for June. There's 34 natural cause deaths and 2 are pending autopsies. July, so far they've been doing 4 autopsies. 1 tomorrow. And that's about it. Next, we have the report from the Strategic Planning, the Community Safety Focus Group, which is my group. So we decided as a group to do a survey that would be placed at the 911 table at the fair. Just simple, do you feel safe? What are the categories that make you feel safe? Street lights, traffic laws, enforcement, that type of thing. There's a list of about 7, I believe, categories. We'll see what kind of feedback we get from the public on that, and hopefully we get a decent amount. So that's just something to start with. Yesterday, we had another meeting discussing what Director Townsend said about the ambulances. Kathy Dayhaven was here from Tri-District, I believe.
She was Rock
Rock City.
City trustee, I believe.
Rock City trustee. And she told us there's gonna be possibly a whole bunch of OSHA rules coming down that are going to devastate rural fire departments if they are passed. Something I didn't even know which existed was EMRs, emergency responders.
Emergency medical response.
Responders, there we go. emergency medical responders, where if that goes into effect, they'd have to have 2 responders on call all the time for the district. They only have 1 ambulance at tri-district manned, where they have 2 ambulances, so 1 is unmanned. And the emergency medical responders, they wanted 2 on call at all the times, and I did not know what they did. They go straight from their houses straight to the call and do what they can before the ambulance gets there. Sid, go ahead.
Isn't that by population though? I thought I had heard that it's for bigger metropolitan areas, it wouldn't impact rural areas.
She was talking like it would. Go ahead.
I've been at the fire chiefs meetings. Apparently OSHA's coming down on them, kind of like ILETSB is coming down on our small village police departments where they're having all kinds of training, and kind of forcing these guys to either be full-time or don't do it at all. And I have not heard it's by population. I did hear all of that at the fire chiefs meetings.
Okay.
I can tell you the next fire chief meeting and said, we don't need another one, but they have been bringing that up, that they've really been taking one, for the fire departments, and it's only gonna hurt all of us.
She said there was a meeting last night and there's one that the director's going through right now. Yeah, report from the strategic planning on parks and facilities focus group, and they have not.
They met July 2nd. Ms. Henning was appointed as the group leader. They are meeting again on August 5th.
Mr. Chairman. I can just add to that, I'm on that committee, although I was not in attendance for this particular meeting. But Mr. Hart did say, since I was coming to this meeting, I'm not sure if Ms. Henning has reached out to you yet, but needing a list of facilities. So, because it's like parks is one section, but also facilities. And since the sheriff oversees facilities under your jurisdiction, just be expecting that at
Okay.
some point, I don't know exactly what it is, but just give you a heads up that, because like that particular group doesn't, I might not know of all the buildings that we oversee, so.
Okay.
Thanks, Ms. Anthony. Any questions on?
I do have one more.
Sure.
On your survey, are you putting down or asking people to put what their zip code or anything?
Yeah, there's the villages,
Okay.
towns at the bottom. This is circle which area.
It's gonna be significantly different for people in Freeport.
Right.
Unincorporated parts.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, yeah, that was discussed. I'm on that committee, so, that was discussed in a few other little incorporated smaller areas were added, but I think the goal is let's get a baseline and see what the concerns are currently versus.
Could we, I'm sorry, could we possibly take Freeport and identify their district with a map? So that they actually know what district they live in?
It's a good idea.
I mean,
I agree.
because then we can take a look at it and say, ooh, you know, I mean,
These are,
Freeport's Freeport.
these are the problems within this district that
Within
the
this
people feel
Right.
uncomfortable with. I agree. I think that's a great idea.
And it'd be handy come in, November, that then they'll know when they see signs, District D, District C, District EFG, who do I, well, that's my district. I know that because I went to the fair. I don't know. I mean, I don't think people know what district they live in.
But I also think the districts in Freeport, along with the rural, I agree with that people don't really know what district they're in, but I think the Freeport districts, it's very different depending on what district you're in, depending on where you live versus where you live. I mean, the concerns, I believe, are very different everywhere that you look. So I think that if we identified the districts, then we could at least identify the issues in said districts.
And even
Whether it
within
be
the
Lena
districts.
or Dakota or Pearl City or Freeport, depending on what district they're in. I think that would be very helpful.
I go to neighborhood watch meetings, so I do hear firsthand what's going on. I believe some other board members do their district too. Sir,
If you're doing a survey at the fair, I just think it would be a great opportunity to break down Freeport. That's all.
well,
Problem is the survey was approved at the meeting yesterday, and they're not meeting again until August 5th.
Okay.
Unless something changes within
Okay.
that.
Okay,
I think it's a great idea. It just was something
Yeah.
that didn't come
okay.
up in
Well,
the.
I understand. I understand.
I get it.
So I mean, maybe when those surveys are come back, maybe the people that are looking at them then identify what districts they're in. So you can break down whether you have 25 people in District I or you have 25 people in District A that have similar issues. I mean, that would be an easy way to identify.
Do they put down their address in the survey?
That wasn't on the survey that was approved, but that, I mean, it may be something that whoever's manning the booth, I don't know. Although they're putting them in a box because it's.
Right, you just have a district map and say, can we let you know what district you live in? And some of them will know, some of them won't.
we could have whoever's manning the table there.
Have
do it
a
too.
map. Blow it up, just kind of give them an idea. That's all.
Well, I mean, not just Freeport, but countywide.
Well,
It
yes,
needs
I
to
know,
be
no,
a
countywide, but they've broken out all the other towns.
Right.
Well,
I mean, I'm in District F, but Larry is in District something else, so.
That's what I mean.
In Lena,
If
so I
you're doing
mean, we're
districts, you
we're
gotta-
into, yeah, so,
okay,
Yeah, we didn't look at that.
so it'd have to be a
we're just trying to
map
make
that would
your,
just, yeah,
your whole project like 4 times more difficult. That's what we're here for.
that's not really what we're trying to do, but
No.
okay.
In the booth.
June. She's gonna be the 911 booth, so
Really?
she's gonna be there. She's part of the committee anyway.
Okay, yeah, it sounds hard to get people to do that, so that's nice you have someone.
We'll go to 9.0, new business, 9.1, approval of the resolution establishing the salary for the office of sheriff.
Oh. I didn't have anything to do with it.
So I move to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the,
Is it 300 or 350?
any discussion on the
Forward,
resolution?
no,
All those in
Just-
favor?
Oh,
go
just,
ahead.
I can just say for the public, if they're listening, that it is set by state statute, so it's not up for the county to decide, we just have to approve the resolution.
Correct.
And these are set after the state's attorney's salary is set. So when that notice came
Yeah.
through, then the resolutions for the correlating salaries.
Yeah.
It's 80% of the state's attorney's salary.
we
All
have
those
to
in favor?
approve that, aye,
And next up is the intergovernmental agreement for the purchase of personnel and supervisory services for these facilities. This is for the 911 county emergency telephone system board, Stephenson County, which is the 911 system. And is to 2027 and possibly to 2028 if there's no notice that they want the county or the 911 system wants to do away with the resolution, the agreement. Do I have a motion to approve?
Sheriff Stovall, can I get your input on this?
Yep.
Is this something,
Yeah, this is something that's already been in the works for
Okay.
years, for decades. If I can, this has been updated for currently what we use, because you know how sometimes what we have
Right.
isn't really matching what we do. So a 911, the 911 board attorney wrote this up.
Okay.
Carl has approved it. Everything's good. I've looked at it, the same resolution is over at the city for their 911 system too.
Okay.
It's just so we're all working to good together.
Motion to approve.
I motion.
Any discussion on the agreement? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 10.0, comments from committee members. Have any comments on anything pertaining to, go ahead, Chair.
I'm not a member, but I want to bring up, I know we're starting the budget now. Last year, I brought an idea of condensing our budget because we have several line items all over that are actually the same. We have two budgets that we work on, the general fund and the public safety fund. A lot of these things that we're working off of are very redundant and it gets confusing. Doesn't get confusing for me, but it gets confusing on where certain things should be taken from. So like, for instance, we have like 5 squad car line items, whether it's tires or repairs or this or that. If we could just condense that to squad car, and we have squad car maintenance. So, those are the types of things. I still have a format that I had last year. I think we can condense this. We got rid of a lot of line items. It doesn't do anything to the budget. We would still take care of all the keeping track of what everything is. So if it's a radio, we know it's for a radio for my budget for next year. But for the overall budget, just to be easier to read, I think it would be better to condense that.
I agree.
So just want to put that out on your plate for now, and then I'll bring all the paperwork at the next meeting.
Any other comments? All right, 11.0, public comment, 11.0 or 12.0.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Well, second, sir.
All those in favor?
Dave?